Okay, so that last video we talked a little bit about the background that you'll need to plan for your lesson plan. Now we're getting ready to think about our standards. So again, here I have our standards pulled up. So we have in our lesson plan, we said we're going to be working with fourth graders. I said I'm going to be working with literacy. And I said I'm going to be focusing on this particular anti-bias goal. Now for our classes, you don't have to focus on a specific anti-bias goal because that is not the point of this particular course that you're sitting in. That's only for ECE 207. So for literacy, so I have picked a standard 1.4, writing. So students write for different purposes and audiences. Students write clear and focused text to convey a well-defined perspective and appropriate content. So down here where you see CC, that means that I'm taking something from the Common Core, which I'm sure you've all heard of. So in Pennsylvania, we have Common Core standards for reading and math. Everything else we have standards for are not considered Common Core. So our science isn't Common Core, our history is not Common Core. Those are Pennsylvania standards. So Common Core means that every fifth grader or every fourth grader or every third grader is held to the same content expectations. That's why it's called Common Core. So a third grade standards in California is going to be the same as Texas, as Louisiana, as Connecticut, as Pennsylvania, the states that use Common Core. About a little bit more than half of the states have adopted Common Core. Not every state has adopted them. Some states have adopted them for more content areas than just reading and math, but right now Pennsylvania has only adopted reading and math. So when I see CC, I know I'm talking about Common Core. So it's CC 144HL. So you need to have that tag so that I know where you're looking at. And then I say I'm good, but I'm not that good. I don't have every single Common Core standard or every single Pennsylvania standard memorized. You do need to put in this text, which is right up here highlighted in yellow. So you need both. You need the text and you need the tag. So let's look at what that actually, what that means. So what do I want? Okay, so here, so I have this link into our, in our folder. It's the Common Core link, I'm sorry. So you'll come down here, when you click on the Common Core link, you'll click on the PA Core Standards. And over here you'll see PA Core for English and Language Arts grades pre-K through 5. So if you want to focus on an English or Language Art lesson and you're in pre-K through 5, you can click here. If you're focusing on an English Language Arts lesson that's for older children, you would click this one. Math, here's pre-K through 12. And then you can see that there's other types of reading for history, writing for science. There's other things that are here. I will show you in another video about the PA Early Learning Standards because you can also use them as well. But the Common Core is what schools use from kindergarten through 12th grade. So let's look at this link. So I'm going to click this, and you'll get this sheet. Academic Standards for English Language Arts grades pre-K through 5. So you can go through here and I'll give you some background information. It's important to notice where it says in bold here that standards are not a curriculum. You're not going to open this up and it's not going to tell you what you need to teach. Standards are an end goal, like they're the framework. They're saying this is what an average fourth grader should be able to do at the end of fourth grade. How they get there, that's the curriculum. So the standards just say where you're going. You know, I want all fourth graders to be able to write a text-dependent analysis, you know, that has these specific components in it, you know, those TDAs. By the end of fourth grade, that's what the overarching expectation is. But how do you actually get the student to write the TDA and what they're reading and what they're thinking about and what they're using to develop those analysis skills? That's the curriculum. That's what the teacher does day to day. So here we have our core standards. So we have some foundational skills. So you can see here they're really basic, like book handling skills. And it's important to note that if you're used to your PA Early Learning Standards, these are the same. It's the same standards. It's not two separate standards. The state has moved the the pre-K standards into the Common Core. We've merged it. So if you prefer looking at those PA Early Learning Standard booklets like you're used to doing, look at those booklets. It's the same thing. It's Common Core. It's just presented from a different format. Or you can just come here and you're going to get everything. So here we have book handling, print concepts, phonological awareness, phonics and word recognition or fluency. So if you're going to work on skills like that, you can come here. But I said I was working on 1.4. So that was writing. So it says students write for different purposes and audiences. Students write clear and focused text to convey a well-defined perspective and appropriate content. So here's what they'll be focusing on. They can do information explanatory, opinion argumentative, narrative, responses to literature. So all of those writing elements are going to be here. So let me just go through another little bit about what this actually looks like, because this is just the overview. So here we go. So let's look at, well, I said I'm going to use 1.4. So let's get down to 1.4. Okay, so 1.4. So here again, here's that text again. Students write for different purposes and audiences. Students write clear and focused text to convey well-defined perspective and appropriate content. So that is our overarching standard. So you can see and hear what it would look like. Well, what does that look like for preschoolers? What does it look like for kindergartners, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade? So this is nicer, I think, in some regards than the PDE early learning standards, because those early learning standards often they don't come with that scope and sequence. Like you just look at what that one age does. But here you can see how that student grows through time. And remember, they're meant to be read at the end of that grade. So at the end of fourth grade, students are supposed to write informative explanatory text to examine a topic and convey ideas for information clearly. But I said I was going to be working on H through L. So there's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay. So we're going to be working through opinion and argumentative. So that's the standard that I'm focused on with my particular lesson. So we can see that in preschool, we're not working on this. We're not worried about if they can argue a point logically, because that's not developmentally appropriate. As a matter of fact, that's what makes preschoolers so cute, is because they are quite illogical. So we're not worried about that. And then in kindergarten, they're going to be able to form an opinion by choosing between two given topics. We're going to form an opinion by choosing among given topics. So a given topics might be more than two at the end of first grade, all the way up to fourth grade, where we're going to introduce the topic and state an opinion on that topic. Then we're going to provide reasons that are supported by facts and details. Again, preschool is left blank. Most preschoolers, it's not appropriate to focus your time and energy on that. There's other developmentally appropriate skills that need to come first. Then they're going to create an organizational structure that includes related ideas grouped to support the writer's purpose and linked in a logical order with a concluding statement or selection related to the opinion. And we're going to keep coming down. That in my lesson plan, we're going to choose words and phrases to convey ideas precisely. And we're going to demonstrate a grade-appropriate command of the conventions of standard English grammar, usage, capitalization, punctuation, and spelling. So that's why you can see where my lesson plan, I said, we're going to do this in maybe half-an-hour chunks over a couple of days, because clearly this isn't something you're going to be able to do in one fell swoop.